Sanjay, only three, six. How many people? 6 people joined only.
Yeah, Arvind, I'm texting in the group.
Okay, let's start meanwhile. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So anyone has any questions, right? Any installation related so far, right? Everyone has set up the Spark, right? Start practicing the Spark core transformations that we discussed. Because I'm going to start today Spark SQL integrations with the Spark with different other tools, right? Databases, right? SQL database and Hive. Mm.
Yeah, hi
So,
Arvind.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I have a request. I mean, if there is any chance to discuss about Spark UI, I mean, how
Spark
we
Web
can
UI.
UI I mean,
Uh-huh.
how drivers
Okay,
will
okay. There are the
reading of
different
a
tabs.
Spark UI.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. So, okay, let me complete this. 2 or 3 integrations are there. Okay, Monday I will show the complete end-to-end pipeline. Okay, with the UI. So you can see that how to check the logs, how to see the executors. There are the different tabs are there. So you can understand like stages, tasks, right? So more clarity you will get. Okay. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah. So basic some 3, 4 integrations are there, like MySQL integration. Let me show you. So MySQL integration, database, Cassandra, Mongo, and HBase. Okay, all these integrations once done, so we'll start this UI. Okay, because it will be giving more clarity how the job works. Okay, so
Yeah,
so you will get idea about the different tabs are there, how we can check the SQL queries there, the executors tab there, how executors are assigned to the like the task, right? Task how assigned. So sometimes the performance tuning questions, people asking in questions in interviews regarding how we can improve the performance of the application. So we need to know the UI, right? UI very important in that case. When we go to the UI and check the executor tab, how many executors are sitting idle, because sometimes distribution of the task is not even. So sometimes data
yeah,
skewness problem comes. Okay,
yeah,
so that
yeah, yeah.
can. Hmm,
And I have a question about it.
hmm.
Basically, if you don't specify the cluster configurations, if we started with how many partitions we need to work on or how many jobs we need to have,
So
uh,
partitions are divided based on the block size. So
yeah, the core
data
side.
size is equally divide the block. So that will be a default partition. But if you want to give your own partition, you can set the partitions, right? If you want to distribute. So depending on that, then the shuffling will happen, right? So there
Yeah,
are the.
is there any formula for based on the size of the data, we
Hmm.
can decide how many tasks we need to perform or how many jobs we need to
Okay,
work
you
on?
mean to say like core executor. So there is a calculation is there, not formula. We can say
Mhm.
calculation, right? How much size? So suppose I have 1 TB data. I will tell about this. This is related to performance tuning. Okay. When I
Yeah,
discuss the Spark Web UI, then I will show the example like how we can calculate, right? If the 1 TB data and these many number of core and how many executors per core, right? So these
yeah,
calculation, executor memory, driver memory, all plays important role. Okay, so this is called your own performance tuning. You are tuning your own, right? And one is
yeah,
there is a dynamic resource allocation is there. If you don't want to do your own, so Spark will do on your behalf, right? So when you
yeah,
don't want to, but sometimes we do manual because we want to do our own configuration, so we pass it the manually the parameters. So I have already shown you guys not a Spark Summit, right? How to do.
yeah,
That's the reason I will show today, like when we will be working with the MySQL, right? So how can we run, how can we get the data from the MySQL or write the data MySQL using the Spark Summit, using the Spark Shell, or using the um, another one is ID, like PyCharm. Okay, so 3 ways you can do. So mostly the cluster one is PySpark Summit, right? Spark Summit is the cluster one. Other two Okay, or Spark Shell also the cluster one, but that one is actual like a single mode cluster it's using. Just it is using the single session, right? So there we are statement by statement we are giving. Okay, let me start first. We start with the UDF because I want to cover the UDF is a very important role because sometimes we need custom functionalities we want, right? Suppose sometimes I want to define my custom logic. So I can write a functions. You know, you have seen UDF in the Hive, right? So similar way, Spark is also having a UDF support. So here is we write a normal function, simple function we write and make it as a UDF type. So UDF function is there in the Spark. If you pass the function alias and you pass the function parameter and return type you tell, then it will be registered as a UDF. Okay, let me show you that how we can do. Okay, so UDF is, we all know, right? UDF is a user defined function, right? And this is common term. It is not specific to the Hive or Spark anywhere, right? User defined function, any programming we have, we write a functions, right? So function is a reusable code, right? So in PySpark or in Spark Scala anywhere, right? So we write a function first. We define the function. The first step, we define function. Define function. Okay, any function you define, there is a logic is there. Second one is you register the function. Register function as a UDF function. Okay, so we will import UDF, right? There is a SQL function and import UDF is uh, package is there. That module we have to import like this from. Okay, I will show the syntax. Okay, register function as UDF, and next is this function. Once it is registered as a UDF, you can use it, use this function in your data frame, right? In data frame column. Okay, so generally the functions we are passing the column. Okay, right, I'm telling about this UDF which I'm talking about, just a very simple example. Like I have ID is there, first name is there, last name is there. Okay, and age is there. I want to make it one more column with column. I want to add in my data frame full name, and full name is first name and last name is space separated. So this I want to make it through UDF. Okay. So first, if you see here the UDF code, so I will be having some concat name, this one definition, like some function I defined. This is very simple function, right? So just I have passed two parameter, first name, last name. I'm returning this first name, last name as a space concatenated. Okay, so this is the function. I have defined this function. Next is, okay, so here I'm just creating a data frame. Okay, this is let me start. Because these are the things mostly the practical, and there is no theory because almost theory things we covered. Now we will see the Spark with Hive integration, Spark with MySQL integration, Spark with the Cassandra integration, Spark with MongoDB integration. So these are all practical things, right? You have to how to read and write the data. So when you are writing the pipelines, right, data pipelines, so you have a different sources of the data or different targets are there. We already discussed, right? Data source could be anything and target could be anything. So in that case, you should know how to read and write the data, right? It is not related to performance. It is related to design the pipeline, right? Design the pipeline, end-to-end pipeline. And we are not doing any validation so far. We are just simply reading that data and writing data. Because reading, writing part, if you understand, after that transformations already you've seen in the core package, right? There are the different transformations are there: map, flat map, filter, join, group by key, reduce by key. So transformations could be same for any integration. It doesn't matter, right? You are getting input as a data frame and you are writing data as a data frame, right? So it doesn't matter whatever source, whatever target, it doesn't matter what data frame transformation you're doing. It's a common to everyone. Okay, so first thing is we have to understand this integration so that we can understand how many data sources we can ingest the data, how many targets we can write the data, and the core part, that the Spark core, right? That is the transformation. So that you can learn, that is common to all pipelines. Okay. So I'm going to start Spark. And parallelly, if you think you can practice Spark Scala code wise, I'm telling you, you can easily convert the code. Converting code is just a matter of language. Okay. But if you want to start the Scala, you have to learn the Scala. I already suggested the tutorial like Java T-point Scala. If you get any difficulty, I can tell the Scala one session, I can take it. Okay. If those who are interested for Scala, let me know. I will take it one separate session, because I want, like, PySpark you should all do. But if you are interested in Scala as well, because sometimes some project requirement is only Scala. Okay. They are looking for the person who has Spark Scala knowledge, not interested for PySpark. Okay. So in that case, you have to do only Scala. There is no choice. Okay. So Scala is a completely a language similar to Java. Okay. Extension of Java, you can say. So you can see this tutorial. So Java T-point Scala tutorial. So this, I have already mentioned that, right? So you can, basic fundamental concepts you understand, loops, functions, order, this object-oriented programming concept, exception handling, okay, access modifiers, and collections. These are the, every programming language have the same thing. The only difference is here, everything is here val and var. So syntax will, left side, the syntax will change, val and var, right? So whenever you are defining the variable, object, everything you are defining through val or var. So val is immutable and var is mutable object. Okay. We'll see that, like, anybody will be interested, then I will definitely go for Scala. But I suggest, like, you should always be ready for both, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So first thing is, we will be defining our function. Okay. So we are going to define our function. So UDF, you can solve anything, right? Sometimes you want to make it entire line as a capital, okay? Or you want to entire data frame column, one particular column, you want to do some uh, filtering things you want to do, an entire column. So you can pass as a column as a parameter, and then you can apply the transformation, and then you can return. So that way the UDF is very, very helpful. But UDF is become bottleneck, right, when the large data frame is there. For a small data frame is fine, but if the large data frame, then UDF is like, because it is doing the operation row by row in the column. So then it is more performance issue comes, right, when the millions records and very, very large data frame is there, and then it becomes issue. If you see the performance tuning in the UDF, so UDF is becoming issue when you have a large data frame. For a small data frame, it's fine. Okay. So I'm creating a one data frame. Okay. Or you can read the file, or you can get the data frame from anywhere. Okay. But I'm just showing you our hard coded data frame. Like, I have prepared manually data frame. Okay. So this one will be giving the data frame. If you read the data from any file or Parquet file, JSON file, so different files also you can read the data, like spark.read.csv, spark.read.json, spark.read.parquet, any file format you can read. So you will get the data frame. Okay. So once we have data frame, so some other UDF example exercise I will give to you. You can try creating those functions and register as a UDF. Okay. UDF.show. So first we are going to check our data frame. We are getting properly, like, here the two columns data frame, first name, last name. Okay. So I will add one more column in this data frame as the last name. Okay. Full name. So So this will be showing me as a 2 rows data frame. So I'm getting this data frame. Now I have to apply my UDF. So I have to register the UDF. Okay. So I have to register UDF. So there is a UDF, this function. So I have to tell here my normal functions. So what I'm saying here, UDF, this is already I imported. If you see here, import UDF, okay, this package I already imported. And now here I'm saying, this is my function name, this concat names, and it is the return type of this function. And I'm giving us some alias. After register, I'm giving us some alias, which I will use in the data frame, which I will use in the data. You cannot use this one as a data frame because you have to make it a special type of function that is called UDF. Okay, because this function is a normal function. So normal functions cannot be called. Python you can call. Okay, but if you are applying this function in the data frame, you have to make it UDF type. So you have a UDF function in the Spark API. You have to make it as a UDF type and giving us some name to this function. Okay, any name you can give, it doesn't matter. Okay, once you give this, now I have to apply. So I'm going to apply on my data frame column. So once I do this, so you will see here, I have passed as a data frame column. If you can see here, df first name column and df last name column. So I need a 2 columns, right? I have to pass the 2 columns to my UDF function where I define the UDF function here. So when I define the UDF function, I pass here. Okay. So this is taking a 2 parameters and it's a string value. The data frame column value is a string value. Okay. So now you can see the full name is coming. Okay. So this is a very simple example. You can write a complex to complex code. You can write inside the UDF because whatever you write in the UDF, you have to manipulate it and you pass it, you manipulate it, and then you return it. And that will be come to your where you are applying, right? Here we are applying in the with column. Okay. So I'm now if I have assigned this one when I do select column. So only if I want to see only one column, so how to see one column? What method I will use? Can anyone tell? Like suppose I want to see only full name. I don't want to see the because when I do show means every column will come, right? But if I want to see select we do. Select we can give full name column. But here we have to do show.
I have a question, Arvind.
Hmm.
Is there any chance to use UDFs on a, I mean, use the defined functions? I mean, we don't have to work on it once more, right? Here. As you mentioned, concat names UDF, you created another variable for it. Is there any chance we can use it on we created a defined function, right? Which is concat names. Do we have to write 2 times like that?
Wait 2 times. I just use this UDF. This is a function, okay? And I made it UDF, right? So after that, I will use this one, not this one. Okay.
Yeah, what I mean is, on a concat names, is there any chance to use these functions UDF and string type to make the return type as, I mean, return as string type?
It's returning a string type only, right? So what you are saying, you are want to pass not the data frame value. You are saying
What I mean is, do we have to create concat names UDF once more? We can use function on a with column, right?
yeah, you can if you don't want to use this function, you can use other option is the concat ws is the inbuilt function is there, right? That can
I know it. I know about it. But what I mean is, we have created a function which names as concat names
mm,
at the top.
mm.
why we have to use, why we have to create another function here? That's
Okay,
the
the
question.
same name. Same name.
I mean, we have created second function right here, which is
Suppose
concatenate UDF.
Okay, I created, then what you want to do? Okay, suppose I created second one with the same thing, like same parameter.
No, I
No, what is the use case? Actually, I'm trying to understand, like you saying second function I want to create with a different name. Okay, different.
not the
Like,
different name, not the different
same,
name, not
same
the
name,
different. Sorry,
same name.
not the same name. I mean, on a return type, we can. Uh, Sorry, I misunderstand the thing. Maybe I'm overthinking.
Return type, what you want to do? Return type. Here is a string is return.
Before return, I mean, after return, make it after return.
After return.
Return, I mean, you can use UDF there. Okay, sorry, I don't know.
Okay, I'll talk to you. Okay, not a problem. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Okay, so see now if I want to use this is I use on the data frame, okay, column. But suppose if I'm using a SQL query, right? So SQL query it is little different. Till function is fine. Till function you have to create a function same way, but you have to do Spark UDF register command. If you don't do this and you are trying to use in the SQL query, it will not work out. Okay, because here we have to separately use this UDF.register. Okay, so we don't need to use UDF function. Here we use the UDF function, right? UDF, this one. But for the Spark SQL queries, when we are writing a like spark.sql, I have created some temporary table, this register temp table, right? Create and replace temp view. If I create this replace and temp view here for this my data frame, which data frame I read it, this data frame, I'm creating a okay, and now I write spark.sql. I want to write a SQL query on this. Select start from people, right? People is my table, right? So I'm going to do this and dot show. So it will be showing me first name, last name. It's coming same like generally data frame dot show you do, right? Right. But here we want to write a SQL. That is the reason we created a table for this. This data frame we created a table and now we are doing the query. If I try to apply my UDF on the first name, last name, like I say spark.sql. So what the UDF name is this one. So I want to use select first name column, first name, last name, and then I want to use so in the query we don't need to write any single code because this is in the as a column name. Okay, from people. So what is the error? Oh, this will be close. Actually, it's a function. Okay. Now you see that was a syntax error. Okay, that is smarter. So what error is coming now? You can see it is saying concat name UDF undefined function. So it is not able to recognize, right? It is not able to recognize. So if I'm trying the for Spark SQL queries, same UDF function register, it will not work. I have to register this way. I have to register the Spark UDF register. So here alias I was giving as alias there, right? Equal, right? But here is alias I'm giving here like this. So I'm giving alias like this. So okay, so I have assigned it, I registered it. Now I will use this name. I will use this name. whatever name I give in this. Get names UTF, right? Because I have not given the alias of this concat name as I can give as, so then it will come full name, right? So just remember, only difference is when you are going to use a SQL or you are using a data frame API. So this is the different way to do register. So here you have to register through the spark.udf.register command. So spark.udf.register command, you have to register. Okay. The parameters same, like here is a return type you are seeing, this is a function name you are telling, and this is your alias you will use in your Spark SQL query. Okay. But you have to do Spark UDF register. Okay. So this thing you remember. Okay. Now I'm going to tell about how to integrate MySQL. Okay. How to read and write the data from the MySQL. Okay. Let's start MySQL. So everybody has already installed MySQL because we use MySQL for the scoop import. Okay. So we take any database, row tables. Okay. So we know, right, if I'm going to read the data from Spark, from the MySQL, I need a connection, right? I need to read the data using the JDBC URL, username, password, right? And the driver connector. So I have to start, first of all, my PySpark shell. This PySpark, three ways we'll see. First, I'm going to show you the PySpark shell, okay? So I'm coming out from this PySpark shell. Okay, and I will start with the PySpark shell again with minus packages statement. So you have not seen so far the packages statement, but packages statement we will use for different connectors, right? For different integrations, we have a different connectors. So you know, right, for MySQL, we need a MySQL JDBC jar, right? The driver jar. So in the MySQL has the driver jar, and that driver jar we will be providing through the packages statement. So through packages statement, there are two ways. One is minus jar you can do. That is the other way. If you don't know the packages, what package you have to give for MySQL connector, so you can use minus jars, and you can provide your MySQL connector jar path. So you know, right, MySQL connector jar in the scoop, right? We know we already copied the jar in the scoop, right? So scoop lib folder you go, and here you have MySQL connector jar. So take this path. Package also I will tell. So this one you can give your path. Okay. Slash, you have to give the jar name. This is MySQL connector jar, which has your driver, MySQL driver class. And then you start your PySpark shell. So this PySpark shell has the reference of your MySQL connector. So it will not give the error, okay, for your MySQL connectivity. So now next thing is what I need to do. I have to read a data from any table as a data frame. So I told already, whenever we are reading and writing data, so everything is written or read as a data frame only from MySQL or any SQL database, NoSQL database, or any file system data, CSV, JSON, XML, Parquet, all are giving data frame only. Okay. So we will be getting the data as a data frame. Okay. So first of all, I will be defining the properties of the my database. Okay. Okay, I will change here. So here, this is a Spark session. So Spark is already there. I don't need to create this. I have to start from here. So what is my host name? Host name is a local host, and port is 3306. That is default port. If you don't give it, it is also will take it automatically 3306. That is the default. And the database. So I'm taking the database here in the MySQL. Just check the. So okay, this table has the data. So I'm taking this table employee 8. So here username is the root. Okay, password is a password. Password is a password. And this is a driver class. So this is a dictionary, right? This is a dictionary in the Python. I'm setting my all the parameters, right? Username, password, driver as a property. And this I will be passing to the URL. So URL I'm forming with the JDBC URL, JDBC colon MySQL and my database server host, right? If you are connecting MySQL from your remote, some remote machine, you will give the IP here. Okay. So table name is employee 8. So that table you are giving. Okay. And this properties you are passing as a property parameter. Okay. One more thing is, okay, let me show you some error will come. You remember, right? Whenever you are importing data from MySQL to Hadoop file system, what error comes if you are not giving that particular part in the this URL? What type of error comes? Not error, it's coming warning. You remember, right? Something handshake error, SSL error. See, this is the error. This is the exception coming. So this is showing the handshaking. So SSL exception. For this one, what we need to do? We have to use question mark, use SSL. You remember or not? Equal to false. Like this we give, right? So I create the URL again. So your data frame is coming, but every time that error is coming. Okay, so I'm fixing it. So I'm just giving again, and I fetch again data frame. So now I will not get that SSL exception error. Okay, I didn't get it, right? Now df dot show. So now you are able to see the same data is there in my MySQL table. Same I'm getting here. You can compare it. It's the same data, right? So I'm able to read the record, right? If you want to do more customizations, then how can you do? You can write a df dot create temp view, and then you can write a custom SQL query. Okay, because this is just fetching all the data of your table. But suppose you want to say, okay, I want to write some conditions, right, or some where clause. So you can create a SQL query. So create or replace temp view, and I give the table name T1. Then you can create okay. Now spark.sql. Can you see only 2 record is coming? So here you can use any SQL query, right? Whatever SQL query you write, any SQL query, join query, whatever you want to write. So you have to first you have to do the data frame join, right? If the 2 data sets are there. But if you are reading the data from the one table, you can do aggregation, group by query, join, union, right? So you can apply once you create a data frame SQL, like you create a temp view. So on the temp view table, you can write any SQL query. Okay. Now this is just we have read the data. Suppose I want to write the data frame back to the table, or I want to create some new table. Okay. So I want to write. So here I will change the table. Okay. I say here employee 9, some new table I'm saying. So here is a one mode property you can see. So what is this mode? Mode is whether you want to write a data in existing table or you want to override the data of the existing. So you will change append or override. When you make it override means entire data will be overridden. If you make it append, it will append the data. But it will all depend whether the table exists or not exists. If it is not exist, it means it doesn't matter whether you do append or override. It doesn't matter, right? Whatever you do, because the data will be completely new. But if the data is already present in the table and you are writing, then it will either append or override depend on this parameter. Okay. First, so in which table I written? Employee 9 table. So first I verify how many records should come in the employee 9. Because I have written this dear. Actually, why this two records not coming? Because I just show I have not assigned back to the data frame. If I assign back to the data frame, then it is overridden. Okay. I have written the original data frame, right? df.write.j. That's the reason same number of record is written in the employee 9. Okay. If I do same, okay, I run it again because employee 9 is already created. Okay, I'm run it again same. Now, how many will be there? Which mode we use? Append mode. Can you see 8 records are there now? Because I use append. If I change it to override, so be very careful about this, because when we use override or append, so it should override the existing data. Okay, now I check. Now only 4, right? So you have seen we can create a new table from the data frame. That is also possible, or we have already some existing table we can write. Okay. So one problem will come, right, when we have primary key is there on the employee table, because here is no primary key, it's allowing, right? If primary key is IDs, then it will be violate, right? So in that case, we have to check in our data frame, like no duplicate is there. So we can remove the duplicate by using the drop, right? The drop function is there. We can remove the duplicate from the drop, like on the column, which column you want to drop. So if you drop, if you have a complete entire lines are duplicate, right? Suppose I say this line, I can do windowing function. I can use for drop duplicate. Group by queries, we can write query and we can use a delete command to drop the duplicate. Okay, I will show that how to remove the duplicate. But the primary key when we created on the, if you see here, employee 9 DESC, employee 9, just check the schema of this. So there is no primary key, right? Okay. So this table is created by the Spark, right? So Spark has created this table, and because Spark is writing a data frame, so Spark is not creating a table. Spark is not creating a primary key in the table. So if you have a primary key, then you have to do the validation. So sometimes we do the duplicate validation, right? The record validations. Okay. So this is simple read and write. Okay. Everyone got it, this one, like how to, the same thing you can do for any database. If you use SQL Server, you will prepare a URL for SQL Server. If you are using Oracle, you will prepare Oracle, but you will use the Oracle port 1521. If you are using SQL Server 1499, so different ports the database is running, and you have to use their different jars. So I showed you without my package. Like if the same thing, if you want to do, so you can start, you can say here PySpark and minus packages. So you should know the package. You should know the package. let me find the minus minus package statement. So if you see MySQL package, this one is a MySQL. So you can use this one, my package. So this package you can specify. So you, if you don't know whether you have jar or not, so you can use this package statement. But this Spark shell we have to change to. So Spark hyphen shell we are using for Spark Scala code. Okay. But I want to start the for PySpark, so I have to start like this. Okay. So same thing, if I run now code this, same copy paste code, if I copy paste this code, it will work for so simple df I'm reading, and you can write a spark.sql queries. Spark. You commit dot show. Df is not defined. Okay, okay. So here is one more issue come. Okay. Through this package statement, when you do this character encoding problem is there. Okay, so this character encoding problem, it is not able to read the data. So if you are not able to read the data as a data frame, so definitely this df.show will fail, right? So in this kind of problems, you have to add one more parameter, UTF-8. Actually, this UTF-8 issue, okay, let me find UTF-8 encoding, this parameter in JDBC. Okay, you have to give like this, character encoding UTF. So if you are giving two parameters, you can give like this, ampersand sign, you can add one more parameter. Okay, so let's run this URL. So even if you are not using the package statement, that will also work, right? That is not a problem. Okay, so this is just additional parameter you are passing. Okay, now you try to read the data frame now. If you are using both, then it will be solving to your, see now it's not giving error, right? Right. So whenever you find error, just check like what is the issue, and that issue is character encoding issue, right? So you have to resolve it through character encoding parameter. Okay. Now df.show, you can print it. Okay. Okay, let's see. This is done for Spark shell. Now we do with the Spark submit. So I have to create a one Python file, right? I have to create this code in a one Python file. Okay, so I'm creating one separate Python file for this. Okay, so I will be same code. And I want to do in the cluster. Okay, so here I create. So here I create a one file. Equal.py. Okay, so here in this file, I write this code. Okay, code will be the same. just whatever I was doing step by step in the PySpark shell, same thing I have written over here. Okay. Be saving this. Now I want to run through Spark submit command. I'm not giving other parameter. I'm just simple Spark submit. Okay. And I have to give package statement here. Okay. So the same package I have to give for the Spark submit. Otherwise you will not get the, so package or jar, whatever you want to give, you can give anything. So same, this package statement I giving. Okay. And next thing is what I need to give my class, right? My file, my Python file. My Python file is PySpark mysql py, right? Now I'm doing the Spark submit. So I'm running this same code in the cluster, right? By using the Spark submit job. Okay, so can you see the same output is coming, right? It is coming. If you are reading, writing, whatever you write in this code, everything will be coming. Okay. So this is the way like we can write a program, a Python file, and I can do. But if you are writing a Scala code, in that case, you have to create a jar. Okay. Instead of using the py file, you have to use a jar, and then you have to give the your Scala object, because Scala main function is defined in the object. Like we define an object prototype, and there we define the main function. Okay. So this Python file is treating as a like a main function, even though main function is not there, but it is treating as a like a main class. Okay. So this is the way like we do in the Spark submit. Another third way is when we use PyCharm, right? So PyCharm, how we will do that? So PyCharm, I open my PyCharm. So PyCharm and the Spark shell, PySpark shell, these are for two ways for development. And the Spark submit is for running in the actual cluster. Okay. So for development means like where you can see your output, verify your logic. Once your logic is tested, then you can move your code in the your cluster, right? Because again and again, you will not be moving the updated file, right? Whenever you want to test in the cluster. So in the PyCharm, or you can test through the PySpark shell. Okay. So if you understand like one integration, all these three ways, same thing you can do for any integration, whether you are going for MySQL integration, Hive integration, or you are doing Mongo integration, Cassandra integration, Elasticsearch integration, Snowflake integration, anything you can do the similar way. Okay. See, writing program is important. Here I'm doing all code copy pasted, but when you are writing code, right, sometimes you have to write the logic, right? Because most of the times you are not just only ingestion and writing data. So you will be doing transformations. So in transformations, you have to do writing practice. You have a practice of writing code, because for the reading and writing, you can copy paste the code, right? Because the driver, all these properties, whatever we define, you can copy paste this code. But when you are going for the transformations, right, when you are applying map, flat map, so there you have to write your own custom logic, right? Which transformation you want to apply first on this data frame. So that thing you have to decide. Okay, so in that case, you should have a practice of writing code.
Yeah, could you suggest any website for it?
For writing code,
Not the
PyCharm
writing
ID.
code, for the use case of transformations and everything.
Okay, transformation, I gave that one PySpark by example, right? So that website has every types of transformation logics are there, right? Joins are there, windowing functions is there, right? So
Yeah.
if you just do practice of each different type of scenario, like how to remove the null values, how to add the column, how to group aggregations queries, right? So if you just small data set, if you practice, then the real-time world use cases are there. Okay, I will give you some project case scenarios. Okay, once this Spark will complete, I will give. So
Okay.
in that case, you can check like some log processing data, like server logs data. You are finding the errors, info messages, right? How to check. So this is just for practice, like you understand the transformations. Once you done the transformations, then after uh, you can start practicing. But I'm saying just start writing hands-on code. You're on. I'm telling you, yesterday one like a 3 Python questions came in one interview, and one question was like sometimes you will not get exact answer from the chat GPT also. Like it was a very simple question. This one is a very simple. Hi, hello. Suppose I'm just giving a scenario. Okay, this is all like simple 1, 2, 3. We take it. Okay, so the guy has given one list 1, 2, and 3. 3 element. Okay. Now I want to display my output. He given this is the input list, and my output should be like it should be 1 ** should be coming 2 ** 3. Can you tell me how will you do that? Like this is a simple input list is there, and I want to convert output like this as a string, because this is a list and this is a string, right? So
I think it's we have to pivot the table of
suppose I'm just finding the result, some output. Okay, so what I should do here?
we have to pivot the list of values. I mean, in a data
But
frame.
why pivot here? No, why pivot? Like
I mean, we have to change rows into columns because list is
it is
number.
a still is a one row only, right? If 1, 2, 3 is not coming 1, 2, 3 in a vertical line, right? See here, it is still horizontal, right? It's only one line itself, right? Just simply if I say in this 1 or 2 came. If you one easy way is you trigger
Concat.
each concat is the one way I in. Okay, one is this code for if you see I in list. Okay, and each I you will say print I, and then you can this **, right? But in this one, what will come? Your last 3 also ** will come. Generally, this is the because it will come. Okay, so you have to remove that. Okay, you have to take substring. Okay, but other easy way.
If condition.
Not if condition you can do, like if your last length one is there, you cannot append. But ultimately, if you do this for loop way, the last one will come and you have to remove manually after the string. Suppose some string you are creating a one is str equal to blank, and this str you are concatenating, right? str plus, right? And like str I, and then plus this one, correct? This way you do. Okay, but still the last it will come. The easy way I found it, like this one you do 2* you take dot join you do, and then you give the list. That's it, it will work. Okay, so what it will take each parameter, and then it will append this star, and then it will prepare a one string. This if you print this, print result. Okay, it will come. So we have many solutions, right? So it's nothing like we cannot say like only one solution is there. There are the different approach, the different logic, right? Ultimate the result will come same, but one is a lengthy way, one is a very one line way, one only one statement I'm writing, right? Or it is solving my problem. Okay, here I'm writing 4, 5 lines of code. Ultimately everything is giving a result, right? But what is like a shortest way, and like we can give a quick way. Okay, another question was one string was there, and that string has repeated character. Okay, like this, c b is 2 time again a, something like this. So I need to remove the duplicate. So first a is coming, a should come, so my output should be a, B, C, B, A. Did you understand? If first 3 times A, only one A, 3 times B, only one B, 3 times C, C, 2 times B, only B, and then A one time. Okay. So it is like a multiple duplicate. But if the one way, if you think, okay, if I put A, one list I will create, and that list, empty list, I will check it. If A is not there, so you will add A. But again, A is coming. So then you will get only one time A, right? So for uniqueness is fine. Okay, you say you don't want the repeating character again, right? Like A is you don't want again. So then it will be solved. Like if you want the result like this, output should be A, B, C. Okay. Then that logic will work. Okay. But for this particular logic, A, B, C, B, A. So what do you think like logic? If I say, if I iterate each character line by line and character by character, and wherever my character is changed, like when A to B you are changing, till you take only A, right? That's the logic, correct? When B is going on, when next character is changing, B to C, here B to C is changing. So you have to check ith character and I plus one character. So condition should be, I'm just telling the logic, I character, like list of I, str of I, you can say, str of I, and you check if not equal to is there, like str of I plus one, str of I plus one. Okay. Not equal to or equal, like, okay, whenever it is same, like you don't need to take it this value. Okay. So till it is coming different, you have to add the one character, otherwise you don't need to add. So this logic you have to write and give the output like this. And one question for the regex also there, one pattern related. So total 3 questions were there in half an hour of interview. Okay. So prepare this kind of Python questions. Logic you write, like small coding logic you can write in the Python. The same thing you can apply in the data frame. In the Spark also you can write the logic. Okay. Because mostly the custom logic you have to write in the functions only, right? You can write functions. But the similar things you want to do in the Spark transformation, you can do it, but it will be more complex logic, right? So better we write a UDF function and then write a custom logic and apply that function. Suppose my one data frame column has this string. Any string could be there. Actually, I'm saying one data frame has the column which has like this kind of strings are there, different strings. Like in my data frame column is a value column. One string this, second string has repeated character, but different. So I want the another column, value one column, and corresponding their output I want. So we can do that, right? So here is a repeated things, right? The same UDF logic, what you write in UDF, it will be applied to entire column, right? So it will change here, it will change here, right? So it will change. So it will change here A, B, C, B, A. And here it will be changing A, B, A, right? A, B, A. Okay. So like this you try. Okay. Okay. So what code we written there, same thing we write here. Okay. Our PySpark code. I will paste it in the classroom link. Okay. So you can check this kind of questions. Okay. So when I do this here, so you know, right, whenever I'm creating a Spark session here, and when you are writing code in the PyCharm, so here you have to add a one config parameter. So here we have to add config parameter because here we need to provide a jar. You remember, right? Jar, right? We have to provide a jar. So we have to provide a one parameter for package statement. Okay. So like when I run my code, I should be able to get the data from the MySQL DB. Okay. So that parameter is Yeah. So this config parameter you have to add. So copy this. I will share the same documents in your one. Okay. So here in the PyCharm, just to add your config. Okay. So you should have the project, right? You should create a project, add the jar. I already told about this settings jar, right? I already told. So I'm running the main function, this my Python code. Okay. So we are able to see the output, right? So we are able to get the, even you can write the data frame. So you can df dot write property df dot write. So any table, so it will work. I'm just going to show if this code can work, then this can be work. And you can create your own data frame also, right? You can read the file and write the data to MySQL. Anything you can do. Okay, you can read the data from the JSON file. You can read the data from another SQL DB table, or you can read the data from Parquet file. Anything you can do. So this kind of conversions can be possible, right? This kind of read and write possible, right? Okay. Now next thing I'm going to tell about Hive integration. Okay, this is clear till so far MySQL, right? So far we've seen how to read and write data MySQL and three different ways, right? Using the PySpark shell, using the Spark Submit, and using the PyCharm ID when we are developing the code. Okay. This is clear, everyone? Okay. So next is a Hive integrations. Okay. So for the Hive integration, so first of all, when we are doing the Hive integration, the first thing is we have to copy our hive site.xml in Spark configuration folder. So my case, already it is copied. I'm just showing to you. So what you need to do, you go to your Spark configuration. Here is Spark folder, conf folder, and my hive site.xml is copied. Okay. So first thing is you have to copy your hive site.xml in your Spark configuration. So from where you will copy it? From your Hive installation folder, you copy to the Spark. Next thing you have to start the meta store service. So you remember, right? Whenever we are doing scoop integrations, right, with the Hive, right? So we don't need to run Hive parallelly. We cannot run. So same thing is applied here. We have to start this meta store service by using this command. Okay. So I have to start meta service. And this service keep running in this shell. So it will be keep running. Okay. And we will, yeah. So now meta service is running. Okay. Meta store service. So we have initialized, we have started our meta store DB. Because you remember, right, whenever you are connecting to the Hive, so you need all the table information in the Metastore DB table. So Metastore database, Metastore service is basically connecting to your Metastore database. That is inbuilt in the Hive. There is a Derby database store is there, right? So I have started my service. And third one is I have to start the Spark shell by using this property, this meta store URI, this one. Okay. So this driver Java option, I have to set meta store URI thrift server. So thrift server is by default is the port 9083. So I have to start my thrift server. Okay. So PySpark shell I'm starting here with meta store URL. So now if I do, now I will see my hive is connected. Okay. Now I want to check spark.sql show databases. You write a show databases command, right? In hive. Same command you can write here also. Show databases, but you have to write inside the SQL because you are giving a SQL here, spark.sql and show. Show function will be giving you the result. Okay. This matters to session problem. You have to initialize Metastore. Let me check first hive is starting or not. Oh, okay. Have to stop this Metastore. I started Metastore. Shell is this PyCharm. Okay, so now this is my SQL. Okay, okay. So Hadoop is not started. That's the problem. Okay, so for Hive, it's mandatory, right? Hadoop is mandatory. So if you want to connect with the Spark with Hive, so session problem was coming. Can you see that this is the same error is coming, which you got it in the Spark? Something session related, right? Here. So okay, so now I start the Metastore. Actually, your Metastore service, why didn't it start? Could you tell me the reason? Because Hadoop was not started, right? So Metastore service was not started properly. Okay, so I have to start Metastore. Now I will start PySpark shell. So make sure it should be keep running like this. Okay, it should be keep running. Now I'm going to do the same spark.sql show databases. Show database dot show function. Yeah, so last time you were not getting, right? So if you do the truncate equal to false, then you can use that one to see the entire data frame. Okay, so this show function, what is showing? What are the databases you have, right? I have this database, I have a one default database, one database, this name, one is this. So if I want to specific database table I want to get, so I will do use command, use, and I will give the my database, my DB. Okay, so here you don't need to do show. Even if you do the show, it will be empty because it is not returning any data. That is the reason it will be giving an empty value in the data frame, right? So there is no column, there is no data, right? So this is just using your database, like you are selecting your database, and now you do spark.sql show tables. So now you do the show tables and dot show, it will be showing you the tables of your data frame. Are you able to see all the tables of your database, particular database, right? MyDB. So it is saying like is temporary false means this is not a temporary table. This is a permanent table, right? So temporary table, there is a temporary command is there. When you create a hive temporary table, then it will return is temporary true. So this is giving you the information about the table. Suppose I want to get a data frame, like how can I get the data frame? Can anyone tell? Suppose any one table I take example, this employee 3. So what I should write it? I should get the data of this EMP3. Because you already seen in MySQL, can you guess it right? How will you get the data from this table here? Because this is already table, right? Okay, this table is there in Hive and you connected Hive already. You don't need to connect again, right? Because already you are connected because you are able to see database, you are able to see table, right? So you will be using some df, you will be creating df equal to, and you say spark.sql and write a SQL query for Hive. So now this is not your some temporary view. Actually, if you are giving here is from table like emp2, so first it will check locally if any view is created or not. If it is not created, suppose this view is there, right? Temporary view you created with the same name. So it will fetch the data from this view. If it is not there, then it will check your hive. But hive should be, you should use the hive already. So if you have already used hive here, so it will check your hive one. Okay. So now I'm giving EMP or EMP2. Okay. And now I'm saying dot show, or show I'm not doing, I'm just assigning to the my df. Okay. Now I'm doing df dot show, df dot show. So this table not having any data, take it any other one. Okay, we have created hive part 22. There's so many. df dot show. So you can see the data which is there in this table, I'm able to see is a tabular data. This is the data frame I'm getting. So how many columns are there in this one? df dot columns. You can see the list of columns. Okay, so you can find the list of columns by using df dot columns. Okay, so this is simple read function. Okay, we have just read the data. Now I want to write a data frame. Okay, so I say when I want to write a data frame, like suppose I have a df dot with column. Okay, first I import the lit. Actually, I want to add one more column. from SQL dot functions import lit. So lit already port twice back actually, not a spark. Okay, so that is the reason we should do typing practice, right? Because we should not forget. Okay. So now I want to add a new column in my data frame. So df equal to df dot with column. Okay, and I'm adding a test column, some test value. Okay, now df dot show, I will see the test column is added. Okay, now I want to write this one as a new table. So df dot write dot, there is a save as table function is there, save as table, and you can save as a new table. Okay, so save as table will be always taking your new table name because you cannot give the existing table. Okay, because there is another method is there, insert into. So insert into is the another function that is for the existing data. So you are giving a new table. Okay, so where this table will be saving, because we are saving in the same database, right? df.write.save as table. So I want to verify this table is created in Hive or not. Okay, so what I should do, like show tables I can do. Okay, spark.sql, and then I do show tables and dot show. So that will be showing me my new table is created. Okay, if I want to see the content of this table, so I will create a one data frame df1 and I say spark.sql, and then I will give a query on this. Select star from my new table. Okay, and then df1 dot show. So this is the same data we written, same data we are able to get. Okay, so this is coming from Hive. Okay, this is coming from the Hive. This is all table in Hive. If I go manually in Hive, I can check that. Okay, so this all is creating in the Hive itself. So this is we have done. If I want to see any table, create table command. Okay, like I want to check spark.sql, I say dsc command, my new table dot show. So I can see the dsc command result. If I want to see show create table command, of my new table. So this is not coming completely. You have to use truncate equal to f. What is the spelling? F false. No, truncate is truncate is always confusing this truncate. So truncate equal to false implies star. Actually, this is the truncate equal to false. TRUN but there's no T capital. Okay, so can you see here? This is a complete create table syntax is coming, right? So create table syntax, you can see, right? So this is non-partition table. We have not used partition table. We have just created a non-partition table, right? Suppose I have to write some data frame into partition table every day. Like my requirement is I have to write every day data is coming. Like suppose I read the data from some file and I want to write the data into partition, right? One partition, daily partition, date partition. So if you are writing the data into partition table, so whatever data frame you are using, right? You are using this data frame, right? df.show. So in this data frame, some date column should be there, like date. So how to do that? Is it clear so far, right? Anyone has any doubt, question? Okay. So save as table we have done. Okay, this one we have done, and there are the different mode are there: append mode, override. Okay, if throw an error if the table already exists. Okay, so we can use this one if error if exists. Okay, so we have done the reading data and writing data into non-partition table. Okay, but suppose I want to use some partition table, writing to a partition hive table. So partition hive table, so we should have the data frame write dot mode, or we can give the partition by clause. So partition by clause, right? I want to create a new partition. I want to say some date column is a partition, right? And date is a string column. So I add a date column. So one string date column I add. Okay. So I say df dot df equal to with column. Suppose this data frame is today date. Okay. Then this today date data, I'm saying date column I'm adding, and I'm saying this is the today date data. So 2024 01 06. Okay, so this date I added in my this entire data frame, it will be added, right? Because I'm saying this particular file I read, and this file is for today date data. So I added this column, and then I'm going to write into the data frame. Actually, let we have to use. Actually, it is expecting, right? It is not a column, right? You're just given a double quote, right? So you make it as a constant value. So you will write a value to this. Now you see your df dot show. So you are getting a one date column is added. Now we will do df dot write dot. Okay, mode is it's a new table I'm going to create. So I'm not giving a mode partition by. So partition by clause, and then partition column, partition by partition. So as spelling you check it, partition by, and because you are creating a new table, you have to give the partition by clause. When you have existing table, you don't need to give even this partition clause. You will write directly data. Okay, now you are saying save as table, and I'm going to say my part table, my partition table. Okay, so so if I check this table, first I check its schema. Okay, okay, so I check dsc of my part table dot show. Spark.sql. So spark.sql. So I can see one partition column is created automatically, right? So I added a date column and I say this particular date column is my partition column. So partition column, but this column is a part of the table. Generally, the partition column is not part of the table, right? You when you create a partition table, you don't keep it because partition column itself has the information, like it's not part of the column table, like it's a logical column which is dividing the data into logical group of your table data, right? But here when you are doing with the hive, so hive is this spark is entire data frame is writing into for one partition. So whatever data frame has the data, it is entire data it is going to write into the one partition. So that's the reason when it is creating a table, so date is coming inside this. So you can remove the date once you select the date, you can remove date or you can alter table you can do. So here we are able to see, and if you want to check the data in data frame, spark.sql. So let's start from okay, so df.show. So I can see the same data, right? Now I want to write data, another partition I create. So same df again I will read the last one, and then I will add different date. Okay. Because my data frame is modified, so I have to read. So I'm reading again, and df dot, I'm adding a different date. So test column is not there. I'm adding this test column, and one more with column. I'm giving a different date. Date. It is missing here. Okay, so now if I see this df, this is my this particular date, right? So this is a different df, right? Like different date data, okay? And this df I want to write in the same table. So df dot write dot insert into. So what is my table name? The same table I'm giving. Partition by I have to give, but I will not give the date. Or let's see without it will automatically, because it's a partition table, so it will understand date is the partition. So I'm giving the table name is my part table. My part. Okay. So now I want to check the data. Part.sql. SQL. And then I will be checking data. My part table. So two different dates data you are getting, right? Like you are getting the data like 6, and if you want to check for a particular partition, so where clause you can give. Where, suppose I inserted data for my 7 day, right? So I can give the explicitly date 2024. So like this way, you can read and write the data into partition. Okay. So you can try this code in the, like when you write it in the program, same code you write in the program, you can test, right? You can do the Spark submit. So you have to read the data, just doing some transformation things you can do, right? And write the data into some new table or existing table. Sometimes you are doing a CDC. What is CDC? CDC is like a change data capture. That you have insert, update, delete is happening, right? Suppose I'm getting the data from the source, getting data from source database, suppose MySQL. Okay. So MySQL, your source, and your target is a target database is hive. So you have to write a CDC for that. So what is CDC? If I say I get 10 record is today in my MySQL, right? 10 record. So 10 records you are writing to MySQL to hive, right? So this all 10 records will come. So this is a full load. Full load is like when you are entire data, first time when you are loading data, that will be full load. And now tomorrow onward, MySQL has some CDC record, delta record. Suppose 5 new record came. And this 5 records. Now the question comes, how can you identify the 5 record came? You remember, right? In the scoop also you were doing importing data, right? Right. We are importing in the file. So we are merging it, right? We are using some merge key option. That is merging. So that is a CDC there. But here in the Spark, if I have a 10 record, I have loaded into Hive. Now my Hive table has 10 record. Both are equal. Both are equal. But now in my MySQL, this is my MySQL, and MySQL and Hive is having 10 record. But tomorrow MySQL got 5 records. So how many different records are there? So if I say, what could be the condition? What two conditions are there? So two conditions. One is this, and this all 5 records, all new records, all 5 records. These all are 5 records, new record, new record. Or like I say, second condition is like 3 records, new record, and 2 records, existing record. Like you have updated data in the existing record, 2 record, existing record. So accordingly, you have to update your MySQL. Suppose if I say you have to compare your MySQL data frame. So what you need to do, whenever you are going to write a data frame like MySQL DB, MySQL DF is there, and another DF is a Hive DF. So this MySQL DF is always coming from the what is the data at present in your MySQL DB, right? So first time it came with the 10 records, second time it came with the 5 records. Okay. So initially when Hive DF, so there is the first time there is no Hive DF. Okay. So no record there. So you inserted entire 10 records. But second time when your data is there, now you have comparison, right? I say MySQL has 10 out of 10, 5 old, 5 new, 5 old and 5 new. Okay. And my Hive DF has only 5 record. Okay. So there is old, new is not there, only 5 record. Okay. So if I have a way in these two data frame, I should do the comparison and I should find what are the new records are there. Suppose these are completely new, or I should find if out of these 10, what are the new and updated, I can overwrite entire data frame, right, into the Hive DF. Okay. So that my data is updated. Okay. So if I'm assuming if my records are new, so if I say, if I do comparison, so MySQL will not have, Hive will not have those IDs. So some ID is a common key. Okay, I just take a data frame, ID, name, age. Okay, and here same ID, name, age. Okay, so if I say if 5 is completely new, so those IDs will not be there. How can I check it? There are the different ways are there. Left outer join is there, or one left anti join is there. Spark has one left anti join, left anti, and left semi. Two are there. I'll tell both. So left anti and left semi. Okay. So first of all, this comparison, what if I'm doing like I'm writing a join like this, and df3 I'm creating, third df I'm creating, the updated df, and I'm saying df like this MySQL df. MySQL is df is a source df. So I will take it MySQL df first. Why? Because the updated values are there in the MySQL side, not the Hive side. Hive just we are taking it as a comparison purpose. Okay. Dot join, and I gave Hive df. Okay. And here I'm doing a like a comparison on the ID column, right? So ID is the column. Okay. And equal, I'm checking here. I will give the whatever data frame is there. So ID is MySQL df ID and Hive df ID. Hive df and ID. ID is a common column, single quote ID. And here I have to tell about which join you are going to do. So I'm telling here my join name is left anti. Okay. So when I say left anti join, so what left anti join will do? Left anti is basically finding the data from the left side, which is not matching in the right side. So left side data, which is not matching right side data. So if I say I have a ID 1, 2, 3, up to 10 is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm doing on the ID 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So what IDs will be matching from the left to right? Obviously, the 1 to 5 will match, right? Because the 5 is already existing record. Only 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is the new. So I will get it. What are the new one? I will get it. I will get it, the new one. So sorry, this is 4 and this is 5. Okay, so I got it. These 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are present in my left side. So what df3 will give? Df3 will give only left side data. And I need a left side only, because I don't need even the right side, because right side is like is no point. Okay. Because it is not there, right? So I need a left side data. So I will get in df3 all 3 column values. I will get ID, name, age. Okay. So this df3 is my this 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 record, right? And now I will say, when I will be writing in the Hive, how I will write? Df3 dot write dot insert into, because this is the existing table. Insert into, I will be writing my existing table. Okay, my Hive part. Just I'm taking example, any existing table you give. So now after this, what you will see, so default mode is a append mode. You don't need to specify mode equal to append, because default is a append mode. But if you are going to use override mode, you have to give. Suppose you have tried here override, what will happen? This 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will override your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 data. So your existing all data will be gone. Okay. But suppose if I'm saying your data is updated, your data is updated. In that case, which join you will use? Okay. Okay. Another join I'll tell you, left semi. So left anti is giving the left side all, right side matching, not matching. But left semi is giving, so left semi is giving only matching. left semi is giving only matching data from left to right. So in this case, if I do left semi, if I change this join to left semi, what will come? Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I will get. I will get it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will get this record. So suppose my requirement is I want to check in my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my existing data is updated. Okay. So if I'm saying if my existing data is updated, so I can check with the left semi. But if I'm saying like my data is new data and existing data, the entire data, suppose this ID2 is updated. This 2 ID is updated. Okay. And rest other, this ID2 data is updated. ID2 data is updated and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is new. In that case, what I will do? Because I will use left NT only, this will come. If I use left semi, this will come. So one way is you create a left semi and left NT and do the union, and then you write the data frame with the override. Okay, so that is a one. Okay, so you can create a union of left semi. Left semi will be giving you whatever your left side data matching data. So even though this data is matching, but this data will not come in the data frame. Data frame will be giving only left side data, but it will take updated data, right? So union of the left semi data frame of my left semi df3. Okay, and one more you created. So two join you will do. So you will do df3 and df4. Okay, so suppose you say left semi df3 and left NT df4, and then use override to hive. Okay, so what you have to do, df3 and df4, two data frame you created, df3 and df4, and df4 you are using left NT, but df3 you will be using left semi. Okay, so left semi is only 1 to 5 updated record, and df4 is 6 to 10 new record by using left NT. And finally, union you do, so just you say here union df, some name you give, union df, that is df3 dot union. Union will combine the rows, right? So df4. Okay, so once you do this union, and then final union df you will write into, but here you have to use mode, otherwise it will append this data. So better use mode, because hive is not having any primary key. So here you use override keyword. So when you use override, what it will do? It will override the existing data. Okay. So same thing you can do in the partitions also. So whenever you are using non-partition and partition, the difference is you are always writing in the Spark by using partition by clause. So whenever you are writing without partition by means, your table is a non-partition. If you are using partition by clause, right, so it will understand it's a partition table. Or even if you don't give the partition by, if it is a table is already partition table, it will automatically handle that. Okay, but your table should be of that partition table type. If your table is not partition table, then it will not work out. Okay, so the Spark will understand this is a partition table or non-partition table. Accordingly, it will do the right. Okay, and if you don't have the partition table and you are using partition by clause, it will give you the error, because you are trying to write the data in non-partition table by partition by. Okay, so what you do, just try this one. You already done the MySQL Hive integration, right? Okay, MySQL. So instead of now you have to combine the two programs. You know, right, how to read and write data from MySQL and how to read and write data from the Hive. Okay, so you have to combine those two programs and make a two data frame. Okay, So what you need to do, just take the same column names. Just suppose your MySQL table. Okay. So same like ID, name, age, city. Okay. And insert some record. Okay. Insert some record. Okay. And first you try to write the data into Hive directly, because you know, right, you have a data frame, you have a MySQL data frame you will read, and write this MySQL df into Hive table, right? So now you will see both are same. Now you will try to read the Hive df. So how to read a Hive df? Like you can use the spark.sql, and then you can read the select star from query, right? Select star from Hive table. So you will get your data. So you will see both are same. Now the second time, after this, what you do, you insert some record. Second time you run the same code, but this time you have to modification in the code. What modification you have to do? So this time you have to, actually generally we put it condition, right? When we are doing full load or we are doing the delta load, right? We have to check whether the table exists or table not exists. Okay, I will tell there is a command. Actually there is a way like we can check spark.catalog.table exists. Spark.catalog table exists. If this command, if you write it like in the PySpark, right? Spark.table.catalog it exists. So you can know whether table is exist or not. So you have to put a if else condition in your code. Same code you can use, because you will not write one time code and second time code for the delta load, right? So in a first time when the table exists, it's giving false, it means you have to go with, if table exists false means, then you have to go full load like this of this one. You read the data and directly write the data into Hive table, okay, in your if condition. But when you are going is table exists is true, right? Because this is giving a table exists false, right? So you are writing the first time Hive table. But when it is table exists is true, so in that case, you have to apply your this join type things. This logic you have to apply. This one. So you have to else part. This is in your if condition part. So this will come in the if condition. It will come spark dot table, spark dot catalog table exist. If this is coming false, so this is this logic, right? You have to just entire data frame, whatever you read MySQL, write it to the Hive table, and you can verify by selecting the data. Else, if you are, suppose this logic is for full load, but suppose you are saying you are going to do delta load. Now you should have the two DF, right? One DF from the MySQL, and both are there. So here also you have done this thing, right? So MySQL DF is already coming from the top, right? Because this MySQL DF is coming from the top, right? MySQL DF, because you already read the data from the MySQL. This is your Spark code. This is your Spark code. Okay. So you are reading the data from the MySQL like spark.read.jdbc format. You are reading the MySQL DF. Okay. So you already read MySQL DF from database, MySQL database. Okay. MySQL database. So MySQL DF is already coming, and Hive DF, if the table exists, this Hive DF is there, right? If it is not there, right? Suppose this Hive DF is if it is an existing one, right? Table exists, right? So if table exists, so Hive DF, again you will take the Hive DF, because if it is there, so definitely this Hive DF, again you take it here, else part also. Okay. And MySQL DF you have. So MySQL DF you have already here. Okay. Already you have, right? Which is coming from the top. Okay. Now you have both. Can you do this thing? This entire part you can do. Left anti, left semi. Okay, so apply this one rather than new record. We do complete CDC, like updated record as well as new record. If updated is not there, so this left semi, okay, if updated is not there, so there is no left semi will be, right? Like left semi will be not having, it will be having the same data frame, whatever your hive one. So not a problem, right? Okay, but left empty will be having. So sometimes the case is your records are updated only, or sometimes it's a new only, or sometimes the case is new and update both are there. So whatever case it is there, it's not a problem. You simply just write these three statements, and write the data into your table. Okay. So write the data into your table, your same table, which table you write the data here. This is the same table, right? This is the same table. So you will see here after this if else condition, you will do the again select. You will do again select. If you do again select here to check whether the data is updated or not, so you will find it, you will get the data. So this will be after the if condition. Again, you have to select after writing. So here also you are writing, but here you are writing entire data as it is, whatever MySQL. Did you understand this logic? Because it's a combination of your two different MySQL and Hive combination in a one single program. Did you get it? This one? Everyone?
Yes, Arvind.
Okay, do this one. Okay, do this one. I'll if you want to take it help, you can take it. But I say like first you run individual program. Otherwise, if you don't run the individual Hive, individual MySQL, you can't do on this because this is a combination of both together. Because here the data read and write is happening from MySQL Hive. So even MySQL you are not writing, but Hive you are reading, writing you are doing. MySQL only reading you are doing, right? Okay. So write this logic, understand the CDC, right? How the change data capture. Actually, other way is slowly changing dimension is there. Okay. We have like a versioning we can maintain, like history version. Okay. So SCD, there are the type 1, type 2, type 3 is there. This is like a type 1. We are updating the record itself. We are not keeping any history version, right? So when we are directly writing data into the same column value, right? Like updating the same existing record. So it is kind of type 1. And type 2 is like you are keep history version maintaining, like 1 history, 2 history, 3 history, right? Because if I'm changing like this ID 1, this ID 2, so I'm keeping the record. Okay. Right. Okay. Do this one and let me know. And if you want connect, I will be doing tomorrow the Spark Kafka streaming. Okay. Actually, I'm doing for other batch. Okay. So I'm thinking if you are, if you do, I will do it your batch, but I'm thinking if you do, you can do. So Spark Kafka streaming 9:30 ST. I think that will be too early. Okay, first you do this practical. Okay, we don't need to hurry. You just do this two examples. Keep it ready. Okay, Tuesday if you have any question, Monday you tell me. Okay, you keep it. Do this exercise. Okay, CDC one and do Hive and MySQL. I think it's enough to complete in weekend. Okay. Okay, let's connect on Monday. Okay. And do you have any question you can ask now? Okay, I'll share this all files. Okay. Um, I'll give you my this other classroom links also, so you can see directly. I don't need to like you can join that classroom as well and check all the material. Okay. And you can find their own video playlist is there. Okay. So you can check the videos like if you want to understand like something there. Okay, thanks everyone for attending session.
Thank you, Arvind.